Obviously, the big news overnight is that Pep Guardiola is going to leave Manchester City. Why did he announce it last night? I think he watched Goldbridge ball. 3 clean sheets in a Baller League Season 1 is just unprecedented, and I think he thought it's time to leave the game because there are better coaches out there now. But on a serious note, look, this has massive ramifications for Manchester United. I was speaking to somebody this morning about this, and I specifically asked the question, how does this impact Elliot Anderson to Manchester United? And they said, well, it's an open goal for Manchester United. Man United are going to lose this on finances, nothing else. They're going to lose it on the offer. They're going to lose it on the wages. They're not going to lose it on the project. And I think that's the best way to look at it. I think if Man United fluff this, it's on the board. It's on Sir Jim. It's on Joel Glazer. I mean, it's absolutely there on a plate. Pep Guardiola is leaving Manchester City. Maresca is going to be the new manager. There is no pull to Man City now for Elliot Anderson. There could be a relegation. There could be a points deduction on the line. We have a better stadium. We have in the sense of atmosphere. We are in the Champions League. There is no definitive guarantee that Man City are going to be better than Man United over the next 5 years, apart from how they are run. And if they get any problems with the 115, then they're not going to be better than us, are they? So, look, in one way, it's a huge positive. In another, you're putting your faith in a board that is incompetent, because most intelligent people this morning are saying, well, you know, and I'm not talking about United journalists or United sources, I'm talking about general football people are saying there is no reason Elliot Anderson doesn't sign for Man United. In fact, it's probably the right thing for him to do, because Pep is left. Man City could be heading into all sorts of instability, whereas Man United, as things stand, you would start every week. You might not start every week at Man City. You will be in the Champions League and you will be the master of your own destiny. You'll be playing in the midfield for Man United. And if you play well there, Man United will do well. You will be in the Champions League every year. If Elliot Anderson comes to Man United and he does well, we will be in the Champions League every year, because that's such an important position. So, absolutely, I think this change at Manchester City benefits Man United. And look, I think we have a chance, or had a chance anyway. I think it's an open goal for United now. And if he holds up the Man City shirt, I will be saying, well, I will be saying this. I will be saying, how have you fucked that up? I mean, what are you doing? Where is your ambition? You talk about winning league titles. You talk about Man United being on the top of football. Look at the opportunity. We may never get a summer like this again. Pep Guardiola, who's built a dynasty at Manchester City and dominated the Premier League, is gone. This is the vulnerable time everybody's been waiting for with Man City. Pep is gone. Man City will never be as vulnerable as they are this summer, and they're second. Liverpool have got Slot at the moment and want to stick with him, so they're shit. Chelsea, new manager as well. So, you know, yes, we've got a new manager, but he has just got us third place, and you have worked with him for 5 months. Yes, Carrick might fail, and I don't think it's the best decision, but the board can't use the excuse of, well, it's a new manager, we didn't know how it was going to work. You've had 5 months with him. So we're going into a summer where there's a huge opportunity in front of us, and ultimately, yet again, as fans, we're saying, if this goes badly, it's on the same people, isn't it? Because this is about writing checks. That's what this is going to be about. The whole story about Elliot Anderson to Man City is, there's £100 million to Forest and there's 250 grand a week to Elliot Anderson. That's the stumbling block. This is not about footballing choices. This is not about where's the best place for Elliot Anderson to go, because we can offer that on a comparison to Man City, and I think we can offer a better project. You're straight into our team at Man United, following in the footsteps of people like Roy Keane and Brian Robson, and you can be that person, and you will play every week, and you will be, you know, the opportunity to be a Man United great/legend and rebuild this football club with us. That is a huge pull on anybody's footballing heritage. Like, respect to Man City, they have been very good, but they can't offer that. They can't offer Man United's midfielder for the next 10 years to rebuild this football club around and be a legend. You know, it's not the same at Man City. And also, you haven't got Pep. You go Man City, you haven't got Pep there anymore. Man City could be Look at United. Since Sir Alex left, we've been absolutely shit. Now, most of that's down to the board being shit, but Man City cannot guarantee that they're going to go and win titles again. Man City cannot guarantee anything anymore, and that's without the 115. Is Haaland going to stick about? If Haaland goes, you've got to replace him. So I don't look at that Man City side and go, yeah, just go there for the money and get guaranteed success. I don't think that. I think Man United have a massive opportunity here, and if we blow it, and I'll use the words of that journalist yesterday, you know, we blew Bellingham in 2020. We messed up Declan Rice in 2023. Third time, we can't do this again. We have to get this deal done. And if we don't do this deal, it's going to be about money. And how do we deal with that? How do we deal with that as fans if we sit there and go, you know, if he signs for Pep, you sort of go, we're just not good enough to get these players. But he's not signing for Pep. He's signing for an unknown manager. He's signing for Man City with an unknown manager. He's signing for money. Like, we just have to put the offer on the table. And look, if Man City were offering £200 million and 500 grand a week, I'd say step away. But £100 million is exactly what Declan Rice cost 3 years ago. And 250 grand a week is what we pay Mason Mount. So if we've got a prat at the top of our club saying, at the end of the day, we're not paying £250,000 for the best midfield prospect in Europe, and we're not paying £100 million either. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think it's absolutely on a plate. And you can't tell me, and I will argue this with any United fan, you can't tell me 250 grand a week is too much for Elliot Anderson when you've got bloody Mason Mount as basically just a new kit model earning 250 grand a week. You know, Luke Shaw's on nearly 200 grand a week. Harry Maguire's still on nearly 200 grand a week. De Ligt's on nearly 200 grand a week. I don't... 250 grand a week, £100 million, that's what this costs. And we'll never get an opportunity like this to do it again. And if Elliot Anderson goes to Man City and ends up keeping Man City up there, and we go for somebody else who's not as good, then whose fault's that? Sometimes it's not about the coach. Sometimes it's not about the results. Sometimes it's about decisions that get made off the pitch. This decision is monumental for Manchester United. This decision can be the difference between being back here in 18 months out of Europe, moaning about, you know, another new manager, or in 2 years' time having 2 years of the Champions League and building something. This is our time. This is so symbolic. And nobody can convince me that this isn't on a plate. And nobody can convince me that this isn't on the board. And nobody can convince me that this isn't the right thing to do. This is a symbolisation of Man United's future. More than Carrick, in my opinion. Michael Carrick might be here for 5 years. He might be here for 5 months. But this signing defines Carrick's future as well. You sign Elliot Anderson. You drop him into that midfield at 23. We've got him for the next 7 years. If he does what he does with what we've got, we will be in the Champions League for the next 7 years. And that amount of money will mean that next summer you can go and get another Elliot Anderson and then another Elliot Anderson, like Arsenal do. This signing takes us into the area that we need to be as a football club. This signing symbolises Man United's desire to be successful again. This signing is an opportunity in a summer transfer window where everybody is going through more change than we are, even though we're going through change. And this signing is the sort of signing United need to make. I've been talking about this for years. You don't catch people up who are far ahead of you by buying things less than what they are. You buy the things they want. What an opportunity. Man City don't have Pep anymore. Man City's future's uncertain. This is the player that we need. And we're debating or saying we won't pay over 200 grand a week and we won't pay 100 million pounds. Well, we won't be successful then. We won't win trophies then, will we? We won't be successful if we don't spend what's required on quality. I don't want us to go and give bloody Alex Scott 200 grand a week, or Baleba 200 grand a week, or João Gomez 200 grand a week. But I will give Tonali and Anderson 250 grand a week because I think they're worth it.